So now I'm actually playing, and I'm making the character, but oh wait, no, load a favorite, because I've made a few terrible faces that are just so sad that I just had to show them off. And then this one's me, kind of, sort of what I look like, as close as we can make it. But I'm gonna be playing as this dude, and he is going to be a herald, right here, because I'm pretty sure I tried using him as a herald the first time I played, and it did not go well. Oh, that's right, he needs a name. And of course, I don't remember if I named him this in the first time I played, but his name has to be Herald. Okay, I can do that in the actual game. No. Harold. That is his name. First name Harry, last name Old. So then, once I actually get in game, I'll lower the music so that it's hopefully not too loud, and you can actually hear what I'm saying. Also, I'm totally keeping that first video up just because of how hilarious it was. That I was saying, I think I'm streaming, and then hearing the cutscene say, yes, indeed. I thought that was pretty hilarious. So let's lower the music and all of it, just to see if that's any better. And of course, I've played this game quite a bit, so I don't need to read any of those helpful messages. And let's see if I can beat the crystal lizard without taking any damage, like, including getting up to the lizard. And I'm gonna just use 2 hands on this, 2 hands on this spear, just because I probably am not gonna be guarding that much. I don't remember if the shield I started out with is full damage blocking, or if it still takes a little bit of damage. But what? Oh, so is he watching? Oh, hello, Jar. Did you comment, or because it's not showing up on here? Interesting. Also, I like how at the end of the last stream, I didn't know how to end the broadcast, but it tells you right there on the side of the screen. But actually, before I continue, let me get my phone out so I can watch the stream and see comments, if I can. Can I not do that on my phone? Well, it just says hi, so hello again. Alright, well, never mind then. Hopefully it should show up. I don't know why it wouldn't, because I thought I checked the box to say that,
I don't know.
well, yeah, that's what I mean, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Well, you guys should be able to see that it's not going up, right? Like, you can see that sidebar?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. I could have sworn there was another enemy over here, though. Maybe I missed it? Strange. I think I should have thought about this a bit more. Okay, so now the crystal lizard is the only thing I need to fight until the bonfire. And technically, I guess I should go get the bonfire before fighting this thing, but it doesn't really make that big a difference. Because one, oh wait, dang it, I didn't choose my starting item. What, did it give me the thing that I wish it gave me? I don't think it did. Dang it, what did I start off with? Did I don't know what my starting item was, or maybe it just chose none because I wasn't paying attention. Alright, well, let's see if I can do him. No damage. Definitely not going to die to him, that would be ridiculous. guy is super easy once you've played the game enough to memorize his attacks. I have not used a spear very much, so I'm not familiar with the range as well, but I think it should be okay. Shouldn't have too much difficulty. It's really just a matter of time. If I can get a critical hit in, that would be good. But like, to stun him basically, do basically a visual attack or something. Alright, cool. Yeah. What was I saying? I got distracted. Yes, I was distracted by my beautiful wife handing me her phone so that I can see chat. But obviously I'm not going to be looking at chat too much while I'm fighting this thing. But yes, I'm streaming again, mostly because I was bored and I didn't really have anything else to do that I felt like doing. So I figured, why not stream Dark Souls 3 again? Since that was so fun the first time. All of my, oh boy. Took some damage. Didn't quite dodge right. But that's fine. Heal up. And at least I'm not gonna die. Totally not gonna die. But, yeah, I just kind of felt like streaming this. Just for the fun of it. And sort of doing a challenge run and playing as Harold. Because when I first played this game, I was thinking, or like, took damage again. When I first played this game, around that time, I had like watched a video that was explaining how in actual combat, a spear would be better than a sword for the most part. So it's kind of ridiculous that like all these shows and anime and stuff use swords all the time when spears are technically better in combat or whatever. So yeah, also, what do you mean, what is that in this game looks cool? You said you saw me since my last Dark Souls video. But I totally understand if you didn't actually watch the video, or at least not very much of it, considering considering the audio was terrible. You could barely hear me, and it was just really quiet in general. But yeah, so now that thing's out of the way, and yes, I took some damage, but that's fine. I didn't die. That's the worst thing that could happen in this game, which really isn't that bad. I mean, dying in the game once isn't terrible, especially if you don't have an ember on. But the worst thing is dying twice before picking up your souls, and then missing whatever souls it is that that you lost or whatever. Yes, very eloquent. But it kind of gets to a point in the game where you realize you're gonna lose souls. Like, it's just inevitable that at some point you're gonna die on your way going back to recover them. And there's gonna be, like, at worst, like a level or two that you could have had. But I've experienced that enough to where I don't mind it so much. But I've also experienced it enough to where I play more carefully for the most part, and that doesn't happen. Let's see. I don't know how long I'll stream. Mostly just wanted to test it out for if I felt like doing it again in the future. And obviously I've played this game enough to know where, you know, all the enemies and items are and stuff, for the most part, especially the beginning. So my commentary may not be very in the moment. And I could drop down and fight those guys. Get a firebomb out of it. Might as well. Just drop down on you. And dodge you. And backstab. Probably my second favorite backstab is with the spear. My first favorite is with the fist weapons, because I think that is hilarious. But anyway, so I defeated all those guys without taking any damage, as far as I can remember. Or wait, no, well, I took some fall damage, I guess. Yeah. It's one of my favorite things about Dark Souls is how it lets you just like bump into the corpses and have them ragdoll and like just take them with you. That's always fun. Definitely lightens the mood when the game is so dark and brooding. And let's see if I can beat this guy without taking damage. I'll probably take some damage, but it'll be fun to see. Fun little challenge. Dang it. Wow, that was fast. Okay. I don't think I'll die. I am pretty confident I can beat him. But obviously doing it without taking damage is a bit more challenging than I thought. And that kind of looked like it should have been, but obviously, because I'm aside from that first hit, ignore that one. That was that was my mistake. It does have a pretty long windup, which kind of throws me off because a lot of the later enemies have a much faster windup. I'm more accustomed to the enemies attacking faster, I guess. And the thing that most people will do, and I probably did my first time fighting him, is to just run away when this happens and he transforms into a gigantic monster. And come on. I don't know why it didn't give me that like critical hit. I feel like it should have done sooner, but I only got hit like once or twice. I did 3 times? Oh. One of them didn't even count. This just a little bit of damage. So yeah, but am I a pro? The game's a bit loud. Okay, so this is the issue that I had. I'm gonna lower it down to like 2. Okay, but what, I have a spear, not a sword. Kind of explain that. Well, I don't know if you heard me when I was explaining it. About how at the time that I was playing this the first time, I was watching a video and it was explaining about how a spear is better than a sword in combat, and it's just stuff like that. So I just figured obviously a spear would be much better. But am I a pro? I'm not sure if I would consider myself a pro. I've beaten the game 2 or 3 times, so I am very experienced in it. But obviously, as you can tell, I've still taken some damage on some early enemies and bosses, so not sure if pro is the right word. But yeah. And what was I going to say? I did want to play as the Herald because normally when I play this game, I am just brute force, strength, health, and defense and whatnot. Use a great sword and just wreck everything I see. So I'm pretty awesome when I do it like that. But I wanted to give myself a little bit more of a challenge by playing as a character. Oh, that's always fun. How much is this game? It's probably $60, and there's some DLC, so that's probably like an extra 20, 25 or something. But the game is definitely excellent on its own without the DLC. The DLC is just mostly for people that have like already played it and want more, or just want more story. And I think it's pretty funny that I used a kick, at least I'm pretty sure I used a kick, to take down that shield. And, when I was totally not trying to. I was just trying to attack him. But sure, okay. And what was I going to say? Oh, that's right. So I wanted to use the Herald because it's a very different play style than I normally use. And he obviously focuses on the spear and using a shield, which is much more defensive. Much more of a defensive playstyle, which is going to be very helpful for the dogs. I actually wasn't even realizing that I should have brought out my shield in the end, you know, I did for the dog, just because they're really fast and it's kind of difficult to time when to hit and when to dodge. And there's a few more enemies out here, but I figure I'll just play it a little safe and go in here. Woo. So that I can actually level up and rest at the bonfire and everything. And I don't know if you saw this guy's face. That is his face. just for the fun of it. Let's see. So I can level up here with the firekeeper. And is the audio still good? Is it okay? Let's see. I want to increase my strength and faith. And I mean, I guess I could increase my health. Yeah, I'll get my health up to 15. So I still need to level up twice. But he's a weird looking blue alien. Yeah, pretty much. I basically have the setting, or like I tried to make his nose as long and thin as possible, and then just made him look as sad as possible, which I think I succeeded on. And if you didn't if you didn't see the beginning, yeah, if you didn't see the beginning, that I showed all the other default faces that I saved that I'm quite proud of. For the most part, all of those faces were just taking the sliders and moving it all the way to the left on one and then all the way to the right on the other, and basically alternating between like every slider all the way to the left, and then on the next guy every slider to the right, and then left and right alternating, and then right and left alternating, so on and so forth. But hello, Frostbite. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. How are you today? Yes, this is Dark Souls. Like I was explaining earlier, I would not consider myself a pro, but I am experienced, and I'm giving myself a bit of a challenge by playing as the Herald, because he's definitely not the best class to start with. But let's see. I kind of want to cheese my way through this fight, just because he's quite difficult to play or to fight normally. So if I can try to like get him to walk off the cliff or something, that would be ideal. But it's quite tough. Oh, nope. Don't want him to make me bleed. And that Estus flask really doesn't heal me very much. And oh boy. Sorry if I don't look at chat while I'm fighting. Obviously, my attention is a little bit divided. Come on. Just want to try to knock him off the edge. But oh no, dang it! I was pressing circle. Should have dodged that. So one death. I feel like people call the Dark Souls hard, don't know what the games are. Pretty much. I would not. I mean, it's difficult not to say the game is hard, because like obviously it has that reputation for a reason, but the best way to describe it is that it's punishing, where most games, when you die or just take damage, you can usually recover pretty quickly or something. But in this game, taking damage is very serious, and especially dying is very serious, and the game is very punishing, where if you make a mistake, it means a lot more than it would in what people would say are easier games. But in terms of like actual gameplay or mechanics, it's not that hard. It's just a lot of timing and patience, which I suppose you could say for the more modern gamers who are addicted to smartphone games and stuff may not have the patience. But that's more of me just being an old man jabbing at the younger generation. But I'm actually not going to fight that guy for now, just because he is pretty difficult, and as much as I was just talking about how this game's not hard. But you have 5 birds instead of 4. Nice. What was I going to say? Just that I want to take a bit more time and level up more before I fight that guy. Do I have enough? How much do I need to level up? 1659. It's not that much more. I might as well go to the high wall of Lothric. That should be fun. You're more of a phone gamer. The only console you play on is Nintendo Switch. Makes sense. I'm mostly playing Nintendo games. Obviously, right now, Dark Souls is... Well, I was about to say Dark Souls is not a Nintendo game, but I think Dark Souls just came out for the Switch, or it should be coming out for the Switch soon. I don't remember when exactly. You have the PlayStation tablet? Yeah. Growing up, I was always playing Nintendo, and so much so that as a kid, the term for like playing video games or playing a video game, I said playing Nintendo. So it was like, oh hey, can I go play Nintendo? In terms of like, can I go play Banjo-Kazooie or something? So I just think that's kind of interesting that like I never really thought of it as strange to call it that. But let's see. So this spear, it's just a spear. It's not a great spear or anything special about it. I could do the shield splitter, but that's not useful against a guy using a katana because he's not using a spear. I mean, a shield. Let's see. Before I head into battle, let me read comments. Waiting until December for Smash. Yeah. Favorite characters, King Dedede. And yeah, you left a comment on my first Dark Souls video 2 years ago. So Frostbite, if you're like expecting more Dark Souls or something, I don't know if I'm going to be playing much more Dark Souls. Like, this was just kind of a in the moment, on a whim type of stream where I just kind of felt like playing. But if you are interested in me playing more Dark Souls, then I can definitely think about it. But yeah, it would be kind of interesting to go through and play as this guy, because I don't know if I finished my thought earlier. I'm not trying to explain it, but I mostly play as like a barbarian, all brute strength, greatsword type of guy. And I've actually just recently been trying to play as a sorcerer, which has been pretty interesting. Oh boy. Oh boy. Come on, finish him off. Okay. Whew. But I've been trying to play as a sorcerer, which definitely changes things up in terms of what kind of enemy is a threat and which kind is pretty easy. And I'm assuming that playing as a herald is just going to make everything difficult, except for these big guys that I can just backstab. And can I use that halberd? I cannot. I need more strength and dexterity. Dexterity. I just need one more strength and dexterity. I might want to use that halberd because while I don't want to get back into my ways of just using a great sword. Seriously? These guys are supposed to be free souls. I don't want to get back into my ways of just using a greatsword all the time, but just the spear is going to be pretty difficult. You like adventurous games, including BTD 6? Interesting. Can I set enemies on fire? I can, but it might be a bit difficult as this guy, because I don't have any fire bombs. I do have fire bombs. I have 5. Okay. That's going to be very useful in a moment. Anyone who has played Dark Souls, specifically Dark Souls 3, knows what I'm about to come up against. And, let's see. Get the longbow. And then that thing appears. What shot me? Where? Oh, boy. Nope. Run, dodge. Dodge away. I was dodging. That should not have hit me. I was spamming the circle button. I should have been dodging. I should have been safe. Do I know the game Bloodborne? Yes. I've also beaten that game. 3 times at least, because I got all the different endings. So yes, I do have the DLC, but I actually haven't played it yet. Um, just because after I bought the DLC, it was after I'd already beaten the game 3 times, and I was like, okay, let me just start a new game and go through the DLC. And then I played for a couple hours, and I was like, got kind of bored. Um, so let me just come on, get the dog over here. There we go. And he, okay, sure. All right, take 2. And this spear has terrible range. All right, there we go. Let's see. But yeah, so I've played Bloodborne, beat it 3 times. I was about to say like on the hardest difficulty, but that doesn't make sense. There's no difficulty setting. But yeah, I did do all 3 endings, which you could say is kind of like a difficulty setting. Just because that final boss is crazy. But I also got the Platinum Trophy, so if you're familiar with that game, you know what that entails. It definitely took me a while. And it is also part of the reason why I don't really feel like playing through it again, just because of how much I had to play through it to get the Platinum Trophy. I was thinking about doing the Platinum Trophy. What? Oh, see you later, Frostbite. Thanks for joining. But I was gonna say, what was I gonna say? I was thinking about trying to get the Platinum Trophy for Dark Souls 3, but yeah. Good luck with school. Shouldn't stay up that late. Not that I haven't stayed up that late before, but what was I gonna say? The Platinum Trophy for Dark Souls 3 is much more tedious, like way more tedious than for Bloodborne, which is why I'm most likely not going to ever get the Platinum Trophy, especially because it involves some like multiplayer stuff, and can't really do that very well. Excuse me. Especially because of how old this game is. It's not that old. I mean, it's only like 2 years or so. But I'm just going to leave that guy alone. Because again, I should probably level up more before I fight that terrible monstrosity. But to answer your question, Jar, I don't know if I can say I have a favorite game. I definitely have like a top 10, like a top 20. Just because for the most part, there's not a lot of games that I've played that I didn't enjoy to some extent. Like, I haven't really played a lot of bad games. But funny enough, there's one game in particular that I would definitely say is my least favorite game, because I literally got it for like $2, and I regret spending that $2. So that just speaks to how terrible the game is. And it might have just been my own little bit of spite. Just because I didn't want to spend $2 for what little game there actually was. And I really wanted to rush in and kill that guy, because if he had been able to finish his scream, then he would have called in some more backup. And then I would have had to fight before I got my free souls right here. And this is what I mean when I say these guys are free souls. You can just go up and backstab all of them. And even though it's only 36 souls for a backstab, I mean, they're free. You don't have to fight for them. There's no risk. At least there isn't supposed to be any risk. Except for this guy, I accidentally woke up. What was the game?
Stabbing him in the butt.
Yeah, obviously this is a very violent game, seriously, and rated M and all that. So, not for the faint of heart. I probably should have said that earlier, but I think you figured it out by now. But anyways, that game that I regret spending $2 on, I think it was called You've Got to Run, or We've Got to Run, or something like that. It was just a little game on the Wii U eShop or whatever, and it was an endless runner game. And I only played it for like 10 minutes, so I mean, to be fair, I might have just not played it enough. But the game literally seemed so shallow. Like it was just procedurally generated platforms that were just very simple, um, uh, like rectangles of varying height and length, and the there was no real like animation as far as I can tell, or as far as I can remember. Nothing like fancy or flashy. It's very simple character running. I don't remember there being any enemies. It was just jumping over small gaps, and whenever you die, it would just very quickly reset you to the beginning without really any sort of like consequence or meaning, like high score. Although it has been a few years, so I don't. I'm probably forgetting something about the game, but it was just very, very cheap, and I feel like I could have played a much better game on like Congregate for free. And I mean, speaking of free games, Warframe is completely free to play. Yes, you will want to spend money, but you definitely do not have to. And when you do spend money, it definitely feels like you're actually getting something for it, rather than the $2 I spent on that game, where I felt like I got nothing for it. It was just a waste of time and a waste of $2. But obviously, comparing that game to Warframe is a bit of a stretch because Warframe is so much more amazing in like every conceivable way. But anyways, neither of those two games are the game I'm playing, so I probably shouldn't spend too much time continuing to talk about them. But let's see. There's, I was gonna say that I could just use range attacks on this dude, but I'm not a sorcerer anymore, and I don't have any range attacks, except for the firebomb. I'm saving those, but I can backstab him. Can I send him off the edge? Nope, not quite. Let me just push him off by walking into him. Ah, come on. There we go. A little bit more. I'm gonna end up walking into that on my own. Come on. Can I push him into the edge? Almost. Oh. Yay! And I don't actually need the stairs. I mean the ladder. I can just fall down on that platform. I don't think I took any fall damage. Just a bit of normal damage, which what do I do? That's right. I was like, how do I use this thing again? Just to fill up my health a little bit. And all right, so I can go up there, up those stairs. But there's gonna be a big old dragon that's gonna light things on fire and make things more difficult. So I've just got to make a run for it, and hope these guys don't attack me. Okay. And then, oh, would you look at that? A bunch of enemies. And the dragon. Dodge. 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 And thankfully, that dragon also hurts them. So because they were distracted by me, they didn't realize there's a bunch of fire coming down on them. Now, the only issue is there's a lot of loot over there. And there's a lot of fire over there. I can probably get this one because it's close. It's a club. It's not even something I want to use. There's a giant axe over there that I kind of would like to try using, but it's really far away, so probably not going to get it. Just going to heal again, and that really doesn't heal me very much. I need more faith. Like the stat. Let me just roll through these chairs and tables because I'm going to fight something in here. And I want to have as much room as I can possibly have to roll around in. Alright. So the trick to this thing is that this is a mimic. If you look carefully, you can see the chest breathing, which is a pretty dead giveaway. But if you don't want to spend the time to actually stop and look at it, because it is a very slight movement and it does take a little while for him to do it, that chain on the side, if it's pointing towards you, it's a mimic. If it's curled up to the side, then it's a regular treasure chest. So that's how you know. If I open it, it will eat me and I will die. But I can stab it in the face to get a little bit of a cheap shot in, and then just hope it doesn't kill me as I try to kill it. the AI on it is pretty simple. It'll just attack and let me roll around it and then get a good... Okay, see, as I'm trying to explain what to do, I keep not doing what I'm explaining. Okay, so just roll around it and get a small hit in. It is very good at not flinching, so I can't just like string a bunch of attacks in. It's very strong, so I don't want to just guard against it. And if it grabs me, I am most likely dead. I don't know if it's an insta-kill or if it's just very strong and I've never been able to survive it. And if you don't dodge behind it, it'll attack very quickly because it has to take some time to actually turn around and see you, which is why I like just rolling like under it. I think it actually flinched right there. Interesting. And just whittle away at it just a little at a time. Obviously, if I was playing as a stronger character, I would be able to kill him much easier. But obviously the Herald is quite weak. And I do really like that weapon, the Deep Battle Axe. It doesn't require that much strength or dexterity, and it does dark damage, which it actually does almost twice as much damage as my spear, because it's 96 physical and 96 dark, which is like 192 versus 100 and, was that 22? So I guess that's not quite double, but kind of close. And because it's, you know, an axe or a hand axe, it attacks faster and it's cooler. And I tend to use it a lot when I'm playing as a barbarian because it doesn't scale based on your strength or dexterity or anything. It scales, or it doesn't scale, I mean. And, oh boy. This knight is very dangerous, and I am just going to run away from now because there's a bonfire up here. And I really hope I can light it, and he doesn't stop me from doing that. Okay, cool. It's lit. And can I rest? I can't rest at it because he's still following me, or he still thinks he's following me. But I don't think he's actually going to get up here. So I think if I just back away more, grab this item. Yeah, now the fire looks a bit brighter, so I can rest. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to go back to the Firelink Shrine so that I can level up and be a bit better. What was it? The halberd that I wanted to use. I need one more strength and one more dexterity. Technically, I really only need one more dexterity because if I use it two-handed, then I'll be able to get past the strength requirement. But I might as well do one more into strength, just so that it'll do more damage, and any other weapons that might require more strength won't require me to use two hands. And I was like, why is the dexterity attribute bonus red? But that's because it's lower than a C. But anyways, so now with the halberd, I feel like that's even slower than the spear, but that's fine because if I two-hand it, then it's the same. But I can do this, which is cool. So yeah, I don't know why I chose this. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Let's use it and see how well I do. I'm going to try to fight that knight because if it drops any at all, it'll be much better than the armor I have. Even if it drops a sword, I probably won't use the sword and all that. But there are Lothric knights later that have a spear, so it would be cool if I could use that spear. And they have a great shield, which would, as the name implies, be great to use and all that. But I don't know. We'll see. Before I get to that knight, though, I have to deal with this little bandit. Or I guess he's a bandit. Not sure what else you would call him. Wow. Okay. So I would definitely have preferred to not take damage. That would have been nice. Let's see. I'll just heal again. Okay. I don't know how effective my shield is going to be. I think it can parry, which would be nice. But can I not backstab this guy? I always forget. Guess I can't. But one hit was enough to kill him anyways. Okay. It's been a while since I've actually fought one of these knights. Because playing as the sorcerer, you can just spam spells at him. Although considering that backstab just took out like half his health, I think I'll be okay. If I can just get another backstab or just one more good hit in. Yeah, that was not a hit. That was not a hit. Okay. Nice. Probably a little bit of overkill. Probably could have just done a regular attack, but that's fine. Overkill is nice against a Lothric Knight. And I don't even know how much stronger this actually is. I wasn't even paying attention to the numbers. If this is stronger than the spear. If this turns out to be weaker than the spear, that would be ridiculous. Okay, no, never mind. 125 plus the 24 versus 104. Okay. I can actually kill that dragon if I have enough arrows and if I do enough damage, obviously, with my bow. But that kind of just takes a long time, and I don't even know if I have enough arrows. So I would rather just not waste that time and potentially money if I wanted to buy more to make sure I'm able to do it. And I can't really tell the range on this thing as easily as I can on the spear because he doesn't really look like he's like pushing as far. Oh boy. That was not what I meant to do. But okay. It's definitely harder to tell what the range is. Obviously on a backstab it's pretty great. But yeah, I think I like it better than the spear. What's really fun about this part is there's a guy right there who has fire bombs. And so once he sees you, hello, once he sees you, then he'll throw one and big old explosion, lots of explosive barrels, which is always fun. And dang, I was trying to backstab him. These guys aren't that, I was gonna say they aren't that healthy. They're undead, so can't really judge how healthy they are. But they don't have a lot of health, is what I was trying to say. And I don't know how much longer I'm going to stream. Probably not too much longer. I was kind of thinking about trying to fight, not Udix Gundar, that's the guy I already fought. Vort of the Boreal Valley. But that is a little ways away, and I usually level up more before I fight him. So I probably won't try to fight him. And of course you can't come up from that side. That would be ridiculous. I was kind of thinking about going back and fighting the samurai guy. I'll most likely fight the samurai guy again before I fight Vort. But I do want to play this a little bit more. And pro tip, there's a guy there that if you have a good weapon, like a sword, you can actually hit him and make him fall to his death, which is fun. But obviously with the spear, can't quite attack upward. So that's fun. Haha. I think that's the first time I've ever tried to use a kick. Generally, I never use the kick feature, just because whenever I'm up against a guy with a shield, I'll just circle him until he drops the shield or something. And do I not have a black fire bomb? I do not. I'm not going to use an ember yet because those are kind of rare, at least in the early game. So I'd rather not waste it against this enemy I'm about to fight. Because I am going to try to fight this one. Because when he turns into this monstrosity, he's weak to fire. And that'll stun him. My only fire attack is that fire bomb, which does do a remarkable amount of damage, just like he does to me. Oh boy. Stun him again. And just keep throwing him. Okay. Whew. That thing is mighty vicious. Like, I would consider him difficult even if I had leveled up more and had a decent weapon, because he attacks very quickly and does not flinch very easily and does lots of damage. So, yeah, that guy is just bad news all around. Thankfully, he does friendly fire, so his attacks damage the enemies as well. And come on, there we go, kill it. There we go. So I can get the raw gem, so that I can infuse that gem into my weapon and make it better, kind of. It depends on the gem and your stats, because different gems will make weapons scale with different stats. So depending on what your stat is, it might be better. Oh no, that was bad. that was the worst. Well, I think that's the first time I've ever died that way. So there's a first for everything, I guess. Let's see. Can I see? Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I had enough to level up again. So as long as I don't die on my way to pick those souls up, I'll be okay. Which means I'm not going to fight that Lothric Knight. And I'm going to try to sneak past here, but apparently I wasn't sneaky enough. And dodge past you. Haha, you try to backstab me from the front, apparently, and that didn't work. Alright. Oh, well, you heard the commotion, obviously. Just wait for you to get closer. Or I could shoot a fire or throw a firebomb at him, but I kind of want to save those for any time I have to fight those. It's actually called a Pus of Man. So that's cool. Welcome back, Jar. You didn't miss much. I didn't die at all. That's not a thing that happened.
Yes, you did.
Shh. You're not supposed to know that. I mean, obviously, anyone else that's actually watching the video would have seen that, unless they just skipped ahead for some reason. And, yep, that guy's back. Like I was just saying, his name is, or he's called the Pus of Man. It's just the worst. So I'm just going to run away. Because I fought him once, and I don't think he drops anything the second time. Or at least nothing good. So just dodge that arrow. That, of course, I've played this game enough to know is on its way. And don't dodge off the off the ledge down the ladder. I'm going to say, or I'm going to blame the lock-on mechanic, because it automatically moved where my camera angle was. So instead of just dodging back this way, I ended up dodging that way. And I actually didn't knock the enemy down the cliff this time. Because it's kind of fun to knock one of them down, and then they'll fall all the way down here, take some damage, and then just start climbing all the way back up. And then you just knock them down again and make them repeat the process, which is always fun. That guy, however, is not getting back up. He is dead because there's a much longer drop than from up there. And I am actually kind of skipping the first Lothric Knight that uses a spear that I could fight. And oh, look at this shiny thing. Oh, look, a giant enemy that is actually quite difficult. Well, at least at times it can be. Oh boy. Whew. Let's try to get back up here. Whew. And heal. Alright. Now the trick to this guy is that you can backstab him pretty easily if you can get around behind him. And did about a third of his health. So if I can just do that like 2 more times. Can I? Yes. And I'm actually just going to use a heavy attack that should kill him. It did not. He is alive. I need to dodge. Run away. Okay. Just one hit. Whew. That was close. Because he probably could have killed me with that one hit. I'm also kind of sad he didn't drop anything. I was kind of hoping to get that halberd from him, because that's a better halberd than the one I have now. At least I'm pretty sure it is. It also probably would have taken more strength to wield, so it's probably okay that I didn't get it. And most of the weapons and even probably most of the armor I pick up, I'm probably not going to be using. And yes, I fell. Yes, I was aware. But let's see. So I'll just walk past that guy. But wait, there's an enemy to my left. It would have been a sneaky trap for me to just walk up, kill the guy with the crossbow, then get ambushed by that guy. And I very, very nicely dodged that last bolt by attacking. How long will I stream for? I'm not sure. Probably just a few more minutes. Or, I don't know. Christine, do you want to see me fight the boss that's down here? No? And you don't know?
I don't know.
Okay. There's also an item. Whew, glad I didn't mess that jump up. And I can't get back that way. So I think I just need to drop down here. And a little bit of fall damage. Not that much. I can easily fix myself up this healing spell. I'm pretty sure I did not get this far the first time I streamed Dark Souls. I do want to open up a shortcut over here so that when I die against the boss, it won't send me all the way back. And there's an item, green blossom. I don't think I've ever used a green blossom. So I don't know, maybe I'll use it at some point during this playthrough. Just so that I can say I've used it. And so that guy's easy. But, okay, so it's not triggered by when he dies. But when you get closer, a whole bunch of them. Thankfully, most of them are pretty weak. Ow. In terms of how much damage they take, not so much how much damage they deal. I mean, he didn't really do that much damage. But if all 4 of them started attacking me, they can kill me in like 2 seconds. Maybe 1. So we get a good close-up of our good friend Harold. Which actually, can I close that helmet? I don't know if I can. Do now. View controls. No. Okay, I feel like there was some game that I was playing where you could like close helmets like that. Is there a Light Souls? I don't think so. At least not that I've ever played. And I could go fight those guys. And you know what? Yeah, I have enough health. I mean, I have enough souls that I should probably, wow, go level up. So let's get past you. Ooh. I was about to say with a simple backstab, but then I didn't backstab him. That was kind of close. Always a bit tricky to know like when to block and when to just go in for an attack. And I should probably heal. And I'll use up the rest of my magic to heal myself up because I don't want to use my last Estus Flask yet. But I can use my Ashen Estus Flask to restore my mana. Or my FP as it's called. Which is, you know, a fun name. So let's see. Ow. Forgot about the crossbow guy. Which means I am going to run. And equip my shield again, just in case. So, were the dogs after me? Is the big guy after me? I don't think either of those two noticed that I was there. And obviously when someone dies so close to an edge like that, just gotta kick them off. No. Obviously it wasn't a very far drop. But that's fine. Still fun. Gotta find the fun in this game wherever you can. Because there's not exactly a lot of it. Not that it's a boring game. Just that it can be very punishing and frustrating. You know, I was right about to ask Jar. I was right about to ask if you had to go to bed because of school, but then I remembered that you're in Australia and they don't have school there. I'm kidding. Just that you're in a different time zone and it's not time for you to go to bed. I know there's school in Australia. Or, I mean, not Australia, New Zealand, right? Am I gonna get like what's the term for that? Are you gonna be mad at me for saying Australia? You're near Australia. You're in the general time zone. Yeah, New Zealand. Yeah. Sorry about that. um, let's see. I guess. Well, actually, hold on. Before I fight Vort, since I'm already over here, let's see if I can take down the katana dude, because he is quite difficult. But if I can beat him, then I can summon him to help me fight Vort. And that would be pretty nice, because as long as Vort isn't looking at me, he's pretty easy. But when he is fighting me, he can be a bit of a challenge. He is probably ranked as like one of the easiest bosses in the game. But when you're the Herald, no boss is ever truly easy. And dang, I was kind of hoping that would swing around and hit that guy, but that's fine. Alright. Let's see. One thing to remember when fighting this dude, or really any tough enemy, is you want to get their attention and then move back into a more advantageous area, I guess you could say. Because if you die like right next to where they spawn, then it's going to be pretty difficult to get your souls back. And I really need to stop kicking because that's not what I'm trying to do. And he just countered my attack, which is very frustrating. Part of what makes him so difficult is that he can counter your moves and leave you open for a critical strike, which is very dangerous. And I really wish that was a backstab. I can't tell if having the high ground is better or worse. I remember as a sorcerer, it was better to have your enemy have the high ground because your projectiles would be coming out of the top of your staff. So it's better for them to be above you so that your projectiles have a better chance of hitting. And, okay, I ran out of stamina there. Come on. It's about halfway dead. Ooh, I can do this. Nope, come on. And, oh no. Okay. Don't want him to get a critical hit after breaking my guard. Okay. See, now I'm really focusing now that I'm... Ah, dang it. Now that I'm actually getting close to beating him, I want to not waste this opportunity by taking a big ol' hit after just saying I was giving it more attention. Okay. And he... Did I drink fire? Basically. Yeah, you could call it that. It's the Estus flask, which there's probably an item description that I'll probably read right now, just because I've never really paid attention to it. I'm sure I've heard it read. If that phrase makes sense. It sounds weird for some reason. But, okay, the undead treasure, these dull green flasks. Or, the undead treasure, these dull green... Wait, hold on. The undead treasure these dull green flasks. There you go. Fill with Estus at bonfires and drink to restore HP. The journey of the undead has always traced the bonfires, and no journey of import has been made without an Estus flask. So yeah, I'm not sure if there is an explanation of what Estus is, but fireworks. That's a good explanation of it. Just because you're always chasing the fire, and it's the age of fire and bonfire and stuff. This, I don't know why it's fun to just kind of, because I'm trying to like spin in a circle. It's probably better that way. But then when I just rotate the control stick too fast for the game to recognize it's fun to see him stutter. It is actually kind of interesting to test in games that have like a 3D model like this, like how well they handle just spinning in a circle. It's kind of interesting to test. I mean, at least for me, it's interesting. Let's see, one hit. Is that all it takes? Okay, that first one did 75 damage, and then the second one did 160. How did that even work? I've been streaming for an hour. Yes, I have. My longest stream in quite a while. Normally I just stream for like 30 minutes. I think the longest might have been like 45. But let's see. So if I can kill this guy, then I should most likely be able to defeat Vort. And then that would be a good spot to end stream. Ugh. Dang, I was kind of hoping that would be more effective. And that did so little damage. Can I... Oh, okay, I can parry, but can I actually parry? Like, can I do it successfully? Let's see. Because he definitely gives me plenty of time to react on that first swing. Haha! Critical hit. Lots of damage. And can I get one big heavy attack in? I'm not even locked on. That was not good. Ha! Ah, dang. That wasn't a critical hit. But I parried him. Definitely should have been trying to do that from the start. Nope, that was bad. That's why I don't try it. Used a different attack. And my timing was way off. Alright. If I can get one more parry in. Ha! I did it. Alright, so now he just needs like one more hit. And now that I actually lock on... Okay, 2 more hits. Ah, no. I could just throw a firebomb at him, but that would be a very anticlimactic way to finish that fight. And that was also kind of an anticlimactic way to finish that fight. So I can dress like him and use his sword, so I can basically cosplay that guy. Let's see. Just for the fun of it, I'm going to use that guy's equipment. Can't use it effectively, but let me just unequip that. Unequip. Does he? Yeah, Master's gloves. And he actually doesn't wear pants, but I suppose for now I'll keep the pants. See, aren't I just a spitting image of that guy?
What guy?
The guy I just fought. The katana guy. It was a joke because I don't look like him because I'm blue and I have a terrible face. But anyway, guess I'll wear my herald armor again. And does it? Yeah, it does have 100% physical absorption. Nice. And all right. Yeah. So yeah, that was fun. Being able to take him down. It was only my 3rd try, I think, 3rd or 4th. But let's see. I guess I'll get my vigor up to 15, mostly for the even number count and not so much for the actual health of it. Now, the High Wall of Lothric is actually closer to the boss, but yeah, the blue's not normal, and nope. It would be kind of I'd say it'd be kind of interesting to see if you could get a human to actually be blue, but I don't know how you would be able to dye their skin without just like tattooing them, or it just being more of a temporary thing. I don't know. There was that one movie that I feel bad that I know I should call it that one old movie called Big Fat Liar that I would watch a lot when I was a kid. Man, it's weird that I already think of that as an old movie now. But anyways, so that dude is just gonna, that dude's gonna chase me. There we go. He's gonna run up there, which gives me plenty of time to just drop down and head down here. Now, he might be smart enough, and I don't actually use that with air quotes, but kind of mean it with air quotes because I was thinking he might follow me down here. It would be hilarious to see him just drop. But I think there's a limit to if he's actually allowed to get past like the invisible barrier. And yep, they're all here. Let's see, just gotta do this carefully because if I just go in swinging, then the others will come back and kill me. So that's fine. Ow, wow. It was fine until that last hit. Okay, can I make purple? Can I make purple pink? Can I make people pink? Yes, I can make a bleh, words. I could make a pink person. You can seriously, you can make them pretty much any color of the rainbow. I don't know if there actually is a limit on how far you can customize. Seriously, I should not be taking this much damage. These are very simple enemies. And I'm actually using the heal aid now because I know that in the heat of battle, it's going to be much better just to use an Estus flask rather than that heal aid. And I'm going around this way because there's some very difficult knights up there. And I'd rather just avoid them as much as I can. So this guy, poor soul, doesn't realize that if I'm walking behind him, he should probably do something and not just stare at me. See, that guy, he has the right idea. He tried to attack. And it did kind of throw me off, and I didn't realize where his backstab point was. He still wasn't that lucky, because I was still able to backstab him. And, oh, that's right. I need to use an ember. I'm actually going to re-equip, or like unequip the fire bombs, because I'm not going to need them for a while. If I use an ember, not only is my health increased, but now I can also use a summon sign to summon the Sword Master. And this would have been the perfect time for me to equip all of his equipment and say that we're twins. But we are not. We're definitely not twins. And so now he has been summoned. And he is a phantom for lore reasons. But this should be fun. I don't know if I'm going to beat him. I might. Are super monkeys in this game? No, that'd be cool. If you could like summon a super monkey, or if you could just be a super monkey, that'd be awesome. I would love to see someone mod a super monkey into this game, because you can definitely mod it on the PC. Not sure how easy it is to mod it on the PS4, but this is the entrance of Vort of the Boreal Valley. He is a very interesting boss. Lore-wise, it's interesting as to like why he's here and why he looks like that. But I do not know the answer to either of those questions. At least not really. I kind of know why he looks like that, but not quite. So the Swordmaster dude is behind him. Not sure what he's doing. He could attack at any time. That'd be great. While Vort's attention is on me. And the biggest reason why I'm sort of afraid of the fight is because I don't do a lot of damage. And it would be nice if I could just get rid of this guy very quickly so I don't have to deal with his attacks, which is kind of true of every enemy in this game, but it's more so important to me to deal damage to the bosses as fast as I can, just because especially when they get into their later phases, like right now, their attacks become much more chaotic and powerful and threatening. So thankfully, his attention is much more on the Swordmaster, because the Swordmaster, frankly, is more of a threat than I am at the moment. Especially because I just got frostbitten, which means my stamina regenerates slower, but I have to wait longer in between attacks, or at least a series of attacks. Is he charging at me? Oh. Yep, kind of. Alright. Heal up and dodge. Okay, didn't dodge. But I shielded. Well, that's good. And maybe he's not going to be that difficult. I just realized how low his health was. A little poke in the face, and he's dead. Who's that ghost? Yeah, he is the guy I just fought a few minutes ago. I was going to say there's certain enemies, but there's certain characters in this game that once you defeat them or help them in certain ways, you can summon them to help you fight other bosses and stuff. And I'm actually not going to go that way yet. I'm just going to end stream from the Firelink Shrine, I guess. But yeah, that Swordmaster guy was the one that I just fought, and then I'm able to summon him. You could kind of say because I killed him, but that's not really why they're phantoms. It's more because this game is working under the idea that there are multiple versions of this world, or like multiple, I don't want to say dimensions because that sounds a bit too sci-fi for this medieval fantasy world, but essentially parallel dimensions or parallel versions of this world that what was I going to say? That you can come across basically. Just that it's the way they explain how enemies or other players exist and how you can summon characters that you've seen and fought and stuff. It's a whole big complicated lore thing. But anyways, that is going to be it for this episode. Thank you very much for joining. I have no idea when I will stream this again, but if you let me know in the comments that you're interested in watching me play this more, then I will be more than happy to play this game on stream or just as like a recording or something. I'd be down for that. Just getting as much use as I can out of these emotes. But anyways, like I was saying before, that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.